Another season has passed, and Caro has had another spectacular individual performance throughout the season, which has awarded him another Player of the Season award, but this time the French version. That's right, Caro has been awarded the Player of the Season for Ligue 1, and you can add that award to the Player of the Season for the Premier League ×2, the Player of the Season for La Liga, the Player of the Season for Eredivisie, and the Player of the Season for the MLS. And you can see why Denis Karo is truly becoming one of the greatest players of all time. But ceremony time is over, and it is time to focus on the Coupe De France final, where PSG face off against FC Lorient. And this, of course, is phase 2 of winning the treble with PSG, as we have already been crowned Ligue 1 champions, and Caro with a bit of a fancy flick to Garnacho, Vitinha finding Caro, Denis Karo on the ball, getting past one defender, getting past another, having a shot and putting it into the back of the net in the 12th minute of the match, and PSG take a nice and early lead in the final. As the gunman scores once again, he kisses the pitch, which he has graced with his presence, and PSG up 1-0. And just a few minutes later, De Paul passing to Gabriel, and now Alvarez to McAllister, who finds Vitinha, and Garnacho passing it to Caro, who does a turn, and Caro through on goal, has a shot, and it's 2-0 for PSG in the 18th minute of the Coupe de France. And this could be a rout de France if we keep this up. And Fontaine on the ball, backheeling it to Diarra, and Vitinha with the tackle. Caro now on the ball with an elastico and a pass to Garnacho. Garnacho back to Caro. Caro running straight to goal, gonna complete the hat trick in the first 22 minutes of the match. And he just kicks it once again for good measure. And Caro is the hat trick hero in the final of the Coupe de France. A truly tremendous goal, and he's cooking for sure. And PSG are now coasting through the final. And just a few minutes after Caro's hat trick, Caro almost finds himself getting a red card. And Lee Kang-in passing it to Caro. Caro crossing it over to Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez with some tackers. Somehow still on the ball, has a shot just wide of the post. Diarra to Bamba. Bamba to Pejanovic. Pejanovic to Bamba. And Bamba with the shot, and Donnarumma with the save. And Abbas passing the ball to Bamba. Bamba to Abbas. And Donnarumma's there to make the save once again. And Donnarumma with a big kick. And it's Lee Kang-in heading into Caro. Caro to Lee Kang-in. And Caro once again on the ball. And now with a beautiful lob pass to Julian Alvarez, who smashes it into the back of the net. 4-0 in the final. A truly tremendous goal by Julian Alvarez. And Caro getting ready to cross it in. This match all but done. Barish passing it to Julian Alvarez. Caro now on the ball. Caro finds Gabriel in open space, and Gabriel's there to smash it into the back of the net with that beautiful Turkish hairline of his. And now PSG up 5-0 in this match, and truly on their way to winning the Coupe de France. And with just seconds left in the match has come to an end, and PSG have won the Coupe de France in truly stunning fashion. Caro finding himself on the score sheet 3 times, also assisting the other 2. A true man of the match performance by the main man, Denis Karo. And this season with PSG is already a success. I don't care what anybody says. We have won a double, and we are in the final of the Champions League. It is truly a successful season in France for Caro. Another club, another league title, another domestic cup, and now Caro can focus on winning the Champions League once we lift this beautiful Coupe de France. Last episode we lifted the Ligue 1 trophy, and now we wait for Rudiger to lift up the Coupe de France. And here's Rudiger getting ready, locking eyes with Caro, the main man, and lifting up the Coupe de France as PSG have just won the Coupe de France in stunning fashion, a 5-0 domination. And look at what it means to this team. And look at these FC Lorient fans. You see a few tears there. There's children crying. But guess what? The PSG fans are happy, Caro is happy, and we are happy. And I will say, I think it should be me lifting up the cups. I think it should be me parading around with the trophy in front of all the fans. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and play the humble gimmick. Top 5 humble moments in football as Denis Karo takes the backstage of the trophy presentation. And as the team gets ready to pose with the Coupe de France, we have completed 2 out of 3 steps to the treble. We've won the league and we've won the French Cup. And now it was time to focus on the Champions League final against Real Madrid. And in that final, Gabriel misplaced a pass and Bellingham was there to collect. And Jude Bellingham sent it right to Mbappe, who smashed it into the back of the net. And Caro's Champions League hopes with PSG came to an end. And suddenly, Caro woke up in the hotel room in Lisbon, Portugal, realizing that he was having a nightmare. It was no 3-3. That match happened already in the group stage. I was just having some PTSD from the match where we got our asses whooped and Jude and company did a remontada. And Caro, unfortunately, spent the rest of the night not being able to sleep, sitting and thinking about the match that was coming up. A lot of history with Real Madrid. And Caro has a point to prove in this final. He wants to be the guy that wins teams the Champions League. And the only way to do that is by whooping Real Madrid's ass in this final and making the PSG fans proud as PSG heads to the final of the Champions League against Real Madrid in Lisbon, Portugal. And this match got off to a fiery start with Brahim taking it down the touchline, passing it to Jude Bellingham, and Bellingham passing it right to Caro. Caro with a beautiful interception, but getting the ball taken right off him. And Mbappe getting the ball taken off him, and Vitinha finding Caro. And now Caro trying to make some magic happen, finding Alvarez, taking it past the defender. Caro having a shot and is unable to get past Courtois. And Alvarez unable to get the rebound in there. And Lee came in with a cross and Caro with a headed goal. Can you believe it? Caro scoring a header in the 10th minute of the Champions League final against the mighty Real Madrid. And of course, Caro can score many goals, but nobody expects this man to score a header. And Caro just jumping up in the air, nobody defending him, probably because they didn't expect him to score a header. But here Caro is smashing it into the back of the net. And PSG taking a 1-0 lead in the 10th minute of the match. A truly stunning goal by Caro. And Modric. Modric passing to Mbappe, Mbappe to Vini, Vini to Mbappe, Mbappe with a shot. Donnarumma's there with an easy save. And Caro taking the ball, settling it, getting past one defender, splitting 2 of them actually. And Caro still on the ball, passing it to Alvarez. McAllister crossing it into Lee Kang-in. Caro with a bicycle kick, can you believe it? Caro scoring a bicycle kick in the final of the Champions League. And that might just be Caro's greatest goal in the history of his career. A truly tremendous goal by the main man, Courtois getting a hand to it, but unable to stop the power of the bicycle kick. And if PSG can go on to win this match, that will truly be one of the greatest Champions League goals, if not the greatest Champions League goal ever scored. And Caro cementing his legacy in truly tremendous fashion with a bicycle kick in the Champions League final. And Bellingham trying to answer for that. I don't think he can. Who the hell can outstage this man? And Brahim crossing it in. And Vinny unable to even get his head to it. Camavinga crossing it right to Alvarez. And Carlo with some defending. And Mbappe with a header. But Gabriel's there with a block. And Tomlinson's there with a shot but unable to score. And Bellingham with a beautiful turn. Passing it to Tomlinson. And Bellingham making a great overlapping run. And Mbappe settling it, having a shot, but Skriniar's there with the block. And I gotta say, Mbappe and Bellingham are trying to make something happen. I gotta give them credit where credit is due. And Mbappe passing it to Modric. Bellingham on the ball. And Bellingham sending it through to Mbappe. And Mbappe with a great run and a great shot. Unable to score past Donnarumma. And Gabriel with a block on Bellingham. And Caro now taking the ball down the other end of the field. Assessing his options with some skill moves, losing the ball. Bellingham to Brahim. And Brahim unable to find Mbappe, who is blocked off by Skriniar. Great defensive play by PSG. And Donnarumma rolling the ball over to Caro. Caro unable to get past Mbappe. And Brahim Diaz passing it to Bellingham, who gets blocked by Caro. And Mario Martin with a shot, but Donnarumma with a save. Modric to Bellingham. And Bellingham to Mbappe, who has an audacious attempt. Caro now getting the ball, passing it over to Lee Kang-in, who passes back to Caro. Caro losing the ball. And just chasing after Vinny, who's bursting with speed. Passes it to Mbappe. Mbappe laying it off for Vinny. Vinny with a shot. And Skriniar's there to make the block. And Mario Martin gets brought down. What the hell? I slipped. Ref, I slipped. That was a genuine slip. And what the hell is this? Caro has seen red in the Champions League final. Are you kidding me? That was a genuine slip. Alright, okay. That was a slip, alright? Caro is an honest man. If he did deliberately tackle him, he would admit to it. And in this case, he's telling the ref that was a slip. But nonetheless, Caro sees red and must watch the remainder of the match from the stands. But with just seconds left in the match, PSG in full control, and PSG have been crowned the Champions League winners. And Denis Karo is now a two-time treble winner, one with Arsenal, one with PSG. This man is truly cementing a wonderful legacy in football. This man went to Arsenal, won the treble, left Arsenal, went to PSG, and now has won the treble in the very next season, proving that maybe he is the difference. And as you see the PSG players jumping around in celebration as they get ready to lift up the Champions League trophy. And look how happy they are. Once again, PSG have won the Champions League. And Denis Karo is now a two-time Champions League winner. As Skriniar, the captain, gets ready to lift up the beautiful, prestigious Champions League trophy. Locking eyes with Karo, lifting up the trophy. And PSG have won the 2029 Champions League. Karo now a two-time Champions League winner. Back-to-back Champions League winner. Back-to-back treble winner with different teams. Where will he go next? Will he stay at PSG? Will he go back to Arsenal? Who the hell knows? But for now, we must celebrate this wonderful accomplishment with PSG. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, congratulations, you won the McDonald's League. and the Coupe De France with PSG. Not that impressive. But you know what? Look at how happy the players look. Look how happy the fans look. And look how happy Caro looks. So honestly, Caro doesn't give a shit. As PSG have just won the Champions League, they've won Ligue 1, and they've won the Coupe de France, completing a historic treble. And the team just posing with the Champions League trophy. Caro looking at the camera. Where will Caro go? Because guess what? These PSG fans don't know. My teammates don't know. But this is my last season at PSG. First season at PSG, last season at PSG. The journey continues around the globe. Where will Caro go? Will I go to Spain? Will I go back to Arsenal? Will I go to the MLS again? Will I go beg for a spot in the Saudi League if they'll even let me in the country? Who the hell knows? But as the French say, au revoir, Francais. What a season it was at PSG. But now we must plot on our next move. But taking a look at the updated trophy cabinet, you can see we've made some improvements. We've made some renovations to add size because Caro keeps on winning trophies and winning awards. And I'm running out of space in this trophy cabinet, but I'll tell you what, I'll keep on renovating it and making it fit more and more trophies. As you can see, the treble I've won with Arsenal, right next to the treble I've won with PSG. And just taking a look at this trophy cabinet, you can see that Caro already has a pretty decorated career, and he's still got more to show for. Where will Caro go next in his career? You'll have to find out in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. This has been Denis Karo Gaming. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.